Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. You sound like you still have a sore throat.
What's that?
You sound like you still have a scratchy throat.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Sorry, I'm multitasking. Because of course I can never get everything done.
So what's everybody been up to?
Not much. Nate and I wandered around Mammoth Lake on Monday, found some cool dead weeds. And there was weird ice that sounded really cool when Nate threw sticks on it.
Come to my house. I got plenty of weeds.
Yeah, we have weeds in the backyard. I couldn't find those interesting. We had to go all the way up to Mammoth. But he did get to go down the new slide, so.
How's the new slide?
He thought it was good. It was good that other people went down it first and dried it off.
No, okay.
So,
And it may still have been a little slow.
It's intimidating looking.
Is it as intimidating as it used to be?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to try it. I did the old one. I want to try the new one.
You're not allowed to use wax paper anymore.
Well, that sucks. That's what made it fun.
Well, there's a sign saying you're not supposed to.
Yeah. I mean, before
I don't know if
wax
it
paper
states it's not supposed to, Beth.
say before we used the wax paper just to make sure that you were supersonic when you hit the bottom, you know, breaking sound barriers and stuff like that at the bottom of the slide.
Well, Nate said that when you get to the bottom, it changes from slope to flat really, really abruptly. And he said he kind of got a headache from it.
Yeah.
So he must have been moving pretty quick then. I couldn't see him from the top, and I found stuff at the top to take pictures of too. So
I'll have to try it.
For people. You don't fly off the edge.
Well, I did a with 7.5 hour drive yesterday. To go pick up my new go-kart. And I went through a little town, and I thought, as I was driving through, because I was on my way there, I thought I have to stop and take pictures of this place because it's really cool. They had it was kind of one of them towns that had a stream coming through the middle of it with a big waterfall and reservoir type thing, you know, kind of like I don't know, like maybe going up towards Ligonier where they have that, where the water comes down over the break in a stream or whatever it is. I don't know what it's called, the dam. Well, this town had one of them, but it was really cool looking. I thought, I'm going to stop there on my way back without a doubt. I don't care if it's raining or not. I got my iPhone. I'm taking pictures. Well, as per every GPS I've ever used, they only take you one direction one time. The next time you go the opposite direction to go home, and you know, I drove to this place. I come out of the building. I got in it. I said, clicked on the thing and said, take me home. And it literally took me in the complete opposite direction of wherever that town was at. So I didn't
Yeah.
get to stop and take a picture of the place because GPS, it's set exactly the same. It's set to take me on the fastest route home. You would think the fastest route there is the same as the fastest route back, but evidently it's not.
Hmm.
So
Maybe it's a secret town.
yeah, I don't know. It was I honestly don't even know the name of it because I really don't know where I was at. It was way up kind of along the bottom of New York and Pennsylvania, going up through that area. From Erie side going east in that area, but it was really cool. So if I make that drive again, I'm going to stop on the way this time and take pictures of the town because I'm sure the GPS will take me the same direction up and a different direction back. So that was kind of disappointing, but at least I did get to see it on the way in the morning. So
Are you on the Pennsylvania side or the New York side?
I was in Pennsylvania. I never left the state, but it was like maybe going across there 15 or 20 minutes south of the New York line, the whole way over across to where I was going.
Oh, okay.
I said the GPS didn't tell me what town I was in, so I didn't know really where I was at. So
Remember what road you were on? What highway?
not offhand. I could find it on a map, but
If you were going east-west, you were probably in Route 6.
there's a possibility. I was on 6. I was on 417. I was on 77, I think. I'm not sure what all roads I was on because where I needed to go wasn't anywhere near like a town. It was in the middle. And by the way, there's Amish up there, which I didn't know, but the area was heavily populated by either Amish or Mennonites, one or the other. But there was lots of buggies and horses on the roads and stuff up there. No. I thought that I was excited because I thought that was going to be a perfect opportunity for me to try a picture with my iPhone in RAW. And it didn't work out. Then the whole ride home was in the rain, so I didn't really stop anywhere after on the way home any other direction.
I have a question. Y'all see how you have rectangle more than I do? I have a square. How do I go about getting a rectangle versus a square?
Use a landscape photo.
That is a landscape photo.
Oh,
In
See, I
Reddit,
can't
when
even figure out how to get a photo instead of my name. If I turn my camera off, I only get my name. I don't get a picture and I cannot. I've been on the Zoom site in my account.
You have to go to get a picture like mine is right there because I have my video off, but I still have a
Yeah.
picture.
Mhm.
You have to upload that picture in your account. You
I
can't
did
upload it
that
to
under
and
the
I
profile.
in your
couldn't get
account
it to
profile.
do it.
Yeah, under profile, and then you click on the picture under profile, you click on the picture
Yeah.
and say change, and it'll have a deal that says change.
Talk.
But you also have that square too, Brian. There is no way when we upload our pictures, we can, even though it's taken with,
I don't know because my picture is a vertical picture. My picture is that way when I uploaded it.
well, mine's a horizontal.
I noticed that everybody that has a photo is a square.
Yeah, they make us
It
crop.
must be, yeah, it must be a crop.
Yeah, maybe it's just the way they do it.
well, I'm sorry, Marty. You're saying mine looks square to you?
No,
No,
Oh,
no, when you're not, like, you're not in the photo, like in the Zoom. Like
like
if you,
Brian and me.
yeah, if you're just using a picture for your screen and you're not showing your beautiful face, I think it's a square. I think
Oh.
it's formatted into a
Yeah,
square.
see, when I switched my video on, the picture
There, see,
behind me
now he's
is
a
a picture,
rectangle.
Yeah,
but it fills the whole rectangle because I have the video on.
right.
When I take my video off, it's gonna go back to that,
Yeah, so I
which
think
is just a square.
I think it's a format thing.
Yeah.
Okay, DL, what did you do? I know you don't look like that.
DL just has his video on, but he's not anywhere near the camera.
Gotcha.
No, I have a piece of paper across the lens. I always had that on all my laptops.
Yeah.
You have a what?
He's
Piece
blocking
of
his,
paper over the lens,
yeah.
Oh, okay, I've got you.
and I just put that in as a background picture.
Okay, so all I have to do is block the lens and I will get the rectangle out of the picture that I have.
Yeah,
You have to
Right.
have it as your video background then.
Oh, okay. All right, I've got you.
Hey, Alan, you there?
Yes,
You want to ask that question to the whole group? Because I don't know the answer to that.
well, actually, Beth answered most of it for me.
Oh, did she? I was gonna say,
Yeah.
because John's here, he's pretty good with that stuff. So, well, instead of just keeping the rest of the group in complete suspense here,
Suspense.
let's tell them what was going on, just so that we can let everyone know what was going on there.
Okay. My question was, it seems like every time I take a picture, I use focus peaking, all that stuff in the camera. It looks sharp when it's small, but as I make it bigger, it starts to get fuzzy. So my question was, what am I doing wrong? Or am I not doing anything wrong and it's just life in general? Like Beth, I think nailed it when she said that the computer I use, I have a 32-inch screen. And when I get up around 100% or 150%, it's just when it starts to get fuzzy. So is it just a computer? I mean, when I do an 11x14 print, they look good. But I want to start doing panos. And I would like to do like a 24x36 or something like that. And I don't want to spend the money and end up with a crappy picture.
If you go 150%, normally it's usually out of focus. Very seldom, I think, where you find it completely 100% sharp. 100% on all of my photos, I always go 100% to make sure it's sharp. And I don't get it, even though in the camera display, it looks sharp, but you need to bring it up to 100% to see if it's really sharp. And at 100%, I do believe you can make the larger print. Don't go by your display on the back of your camera.
Oh, I don't. I mean, I do to a point. I use it for on the Nikons, which you have a Nikon. You can
Yeah.
press the plus sign, and it'll
It'll bring it up to 100%, yes.
yeah, and then you can use that for your focus point. But when I do it on a computer, it doesn't look the same as it does on the back of the camera, of course.
Right.
But it starts to get fuzzy around the edges. It doesn't have that crispness to it.
So Alan, and I can't answer your question specifically, but I'll tell you what I think is in play. And this goes back to what Margie was kind of saying as far as the percent zoom, if you will. So how far in 100% is, as far as the number of pixels that you're looking at on your screen, is going to be a function of the resolution of your image and the resolution of your monitor. And off the top of my head, I forget which goes which, but if you took the exact same photo and had two monitors, a 4K monitor and a standard HD monitor, and you zoom into 100% using Lightroom or whatever program you're using, you're going to be zoomed in to a different level. And I'm thinking what's happening to you is because of the resolution, either of both your camera and the screen or one or the other, that you're just zooming in more than maybe what you did previously.
What is your resolution on your computer? Do you know?
I have no idea. That's above and beyond me.
DL question. So you know how to do it. I'll figure it out. Let's keep in private.
You see me all the time when I'm doing the critiquing. I try to bring it up as far as I can bring it up.
I
What?
was
Go ahead.
sitting here talking to everyone and I had myself on mute. The resolution on your computer screen, like Jim was referring to, has a lot to do with that. Once you get up above 100%, if you're looking at a computer screen that's a 1080p and you're looking at a picture from your 48 megapixel camera, once you get beyond the 1080p, it's not going to look sharp no matter what.
Yep.
But if you look at that same picture on a 6K or an 8K monitor or a 5K monitor, it'll be sharper much higher up. But no matter what, you're going to get to a point where you've went in so far that it is going to be blurry no matter what.
Yeah, it starts pixelating the
So
further
if you
you
look
get
at,
in.
and as Margie said, 100% is plenty good enough. If you look at 100% and things are sharp, I don't think there's any reason to go beyond that 100% to look at stuff.
Right.
Unless you're, trying to mask something and you're trying to get down into the pixel by pixel when you're doing your masking, that's a little different.
Yeah.
But as far as just looking for sharpness and looking whether or not the picture is going to look good at whatever size, 100% is plenty big enough for you to be able to tell that.
The only time I go past 100% is in post-processing. And I'll pixelate on some of mine just to get it in there just right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've even noticed on Reddit whenever I like if I post a picture on there and then you click it 2 or 3 times and it's as big as it'll go, I'll start to see that fuzzy on there too.
Yeah, well, you got to remember that Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is you put it on, compresses your files, no matter what. When you put it on there, it's compressed, and then once it compresses it for screen size and for their storage size and all that kind of stuff, and then you go bigger on it, it's gonna get fuzzy because it's been compressed, no matter what.
When I enlarge other people's, it doesn't look like that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Alan. If I go like 3 steps up when I'm critiquing, and y'all see me do this all the time, some of them are extremely sharp. Others start getting noise in there. They just, really start getting
Then I would have to go back to what file size are you uploading when you upload
That's it right there.
Reddit.
That's
'Cause
it.
I intentionally only upload small file sizes. It'll be a height of 1200 pixels, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't go to zoom in like you would a larger file.
So then, Alan, my question would come to then, if you're seeing that on Reddit or places that you upload, excuse me, my question would be, what file size are you uploading? What are you exporting out of Lightroom or Photoshop to upload? What size is it?
I think they only give you a certain maximum in Reddit, isn't it?
Yeah, but still, if his export on Lightroom is too small, then
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yep. Then of course it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
you bring it up, it's going to be, fuzzy, as he would say, or just
Right.
out of focus, soft. whatever.
I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know the numbers, but I always have to resize to put them on anything.
Okay. Well, the next time you upload or next time you export one of them out, send me the numbers. Let me see what size it's going to be. You know, let me know what it's doing, what size it's going to be, because it may just be cutting your size down so much that it's looking bad on Reddit and stuff like that. Now, if it's looking bad in Lightroom, when you get at 100%, if it's beyond 100%, it's going to look bad.
Yes,
But at 100% in Lightroom or 100% in Photoshop, you should be able to tell if it's sharp or not.
yes.
I actually use GIMP. I don't use Lightroom.
Okay. Well, and then again, there, I don't know what GIMP does
Yeah.
as far as how it handles its files or anything like that. So, send me an exported file from GIMP, one of them that you've done, one that you would be uploading. Send me the file just the way it is. Email it to me. If you can email it, it's not too big. And let me look at the file and see what kind of numbers it's putting out.
And make sure
Okay.
it's a JPEG.
How many megapixels is your camera?
It's big like mine. He's using
Oh, okay.
yeah, he's,
I didn't know what he was using.
he's using a Z7, isn't it, Alan?
Well, I use the 7. I'm getting the results with both the 7 and the 850.
850, and you should not be, either one of those should not be giving you a bad file unless you have a setting screwed up in there where it's giving you a 8-bit file instead of a 48-bit file, which could happen as well.
Well,
it's-
unless I inadvertently hit something, it shouldn't be.
Yeah. Because if it's not giving you a full size file, then that could be a problem as well.
Doesn't it, like, you can have a setting where it compresses your photo inside your camera, right?
Yeah, that's the bit rate that I was talking about. If you choose a small bit rate, it'll compress your file, even a raw file. It compresses it a little bit because it doesn't give you all of the information.
I'm learning something.
Well, that's the purpose of the meeting.
That's right.
Runs in my mind. Mine's set at like 64-bit.
Okay, it should be. Yeah.
Good conversation.
Yep. All right.
Is it true that all digital photos have to be sharpened? Or is that these days?
I don't believe that for a minute because when I've used my tripod and a remote, I have got some really crystal sharp photos.
I don't know that you need to sharpen all photos. I don't. A lot of mine, I look at it. If it's good enough, I don't touch it. I won't sharpen it.
Because I know I haven't sharpened everything, but I mean,
Yeah.
with a lens baby, who can tell?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're intentionally shooting stuff that's soft, and then you want to know if I should sharpen it. Come on now, Beth. But
The
no,
rebel
I mean, if I shoot something with like my 85 and it's sharp, and I look at it on a computer and it's sharp, I don't sharpen it. I'm not
Yeah.
going to bother it because I know my 85 is sharp. I know my camera's good. And I'm just going to leave it alone because it's sharp enough. Now, if I got a little lens or a little lens shake in there, or I didn't get it exactly dead on, then I'll sharpen it.
with Grace's photos, I didn't sharpen those, and she's got a Rebel 5. And
Yeah.
I didn't have to sharpen that, and she was using a kit lens. So I think it just depends.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I have sharpened some of my photos, but, I'm different than Grace. I don't know how she does it.
Yeah, it's like I said, some stuff I sharpen, some stuff I don't, but I don't make it a rule to sharpen everything. I don't exactly know a yes or no answer to that as far as the industry goes. I don't know if the good guys are sharpening every picture or not.
I don't think it needs to be sharpened every picture.
Brian, in Lightroom, is there some type of default base level of sharpening that happens as it's processing a raw file?
I don't know the answer to that. That would be when John pops back on here, we can ask him. He may know.
Okay, because I know my Capture One provides a very base level of sharpening,
Yeah,
just upon processing.
Well, doesn't Lightroom start at like a 25 or something?
I'm not aware of anything in Lightroom that sets a base for shopping or sharpening, Jim.
Okay,
It just works with the image starting where you're at and you go from there. That's the impression that I have.
yeah, I think that you can on your import settings tell Lightroom to do a amount of sharpening. I think that's one of the things that you can do to it. But if you've never set that, then no, it should leave it completely alone, unless you decide to sharpen it yourself.
Yeah, I think that's right, Brian.
Good question, though. That's a good question there.
They've all been good questions tonight.
Yeah. Well, Jim, do you have any news for us tonight?
very little, but I can go through it.
Okay, if you want to.
All right. I'm not sure why in December, but I just wasn't picking up articles that I thought were worth sharing. So okay, you can see my desktop, I assume.
Yep.
So I only got 3 to share with you tonight, so this won't take very long. This first one and basically was announcing an upcoming photo auction that I think has taken place, but I didn't see any subsequent results of what the actual sold prices were for some of these photos. But I just thought it was interesting that they were even up for sale, if you will. So you can see in the title, there's Ansel Adams, Steve McCurry, and some others here. The half dome shot was up for auction. And as you can see below here, they were expecting around $18,000 or so for it.
I am nervous.
And then the moon and half dome. Have to about $6,000. And
Salgado.
Salgado, let's see. I don't see a price for this one.
79,000.
Pardon
No,
me?
that's for Horst P. Horst's.
Yeah.
That's probably after.
Oh, okay.
So I just, I don't see it there. I don't think they gave estimates for all the photos that they discuss here.
There's a bunch of typos in it too.
If you look at, is there, I guess I didn't even notice, Beth. That's kind of a cool looking photo.
Yeah.
1939, Horst. And I don't think I've seen this one before,
Yeah.
but that took some setting up. I'm assuming back when this was taken, it wasn't a composite.
I like the unicorn hat.
Yeah. And then this from McCurry, from the girl from Afghanistan, which wasn't taken of 1985 in National Geographic. And
I've
again,
got the magazine for that.
oh, do you?
With her
We
on the
don't have
cover.
an estimate for this one.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting just to look at them, the fact that they were up for auction. Did any of you bid on them?
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
And Margie, the one that you had for auction, I don't think they put on petapixel hair. They left it out of the article. Okay, this next one, Wildlife Photographer of the Year finalist. Some nice animal photos.
That's sad.
You know what? What's funny about this one? I didn't look at this carefully enough the first time I saw it. But the mother's being eaten and the baby's hanging on for dear life.
Well, she isn't being eaten, but she is being carried.
He's about to be eaten.
Yeah, she's about to be. That's when I said, that's sad. I would have done something about that if I was there. I would have interfered.
Oh, you would.
Oh,
I'm-
yeah.
I am not sure that getting between a leopard and his meal would have been a good idea.
I don't care.
You may
I'm
have become the meal at that point.
Yeah, but at least the
Yeah.
baby and the mother would have been okay. You know, I can't handle stuff like that.
Hmm.
The,
when
the
Margie
polar bear in
figured out
flowers
here,
don't make any sense.
I know. Yeah, well.
I don't want to be around you when you make a move on that one.
Just have to run faster than she does.
Faster than whoever's with you.
Yeah.
Well, so
That's
this is-
anybody.
this has nothing directly to do with wildlife. I guess it's
Yeah, it
in.
does. There's a fish in the glove.
Yeah, right there on the thumb.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't see that.
Uh,
Oh, jeez. Oh my goodness. I gotta open my eyes. Thanks, Brian.
That bothers me more than the leopard eating.
yeah, that bothers me too.
Have you all seen the picture of the seahorse with the mask hanging from its tail?
No.
I think so.
Oh. Yeah, there's one that's floating around. No pun intended, but it's a seahorse going through the water, and it's got one of these surgical masks stuck to its tail, and it's pulling it
Oh.
through the water.
Gosh. Are you sure it's not Photoshop? It's an
No,
actual.
no, it came from like National Geographic or
Oh,
something.
yeah, then. I think National Geographic's got some of the best photos. They're so good.
I was just, right before the meeting, I was watching a documentary with Valerie Taylor. She was one of the first women to do underwater photography with the sharks and was part of Jaws. And I thought that was kind of interesting too. They just jumped in with those sharks. And,
Yeah.
no way, but I thought that was very interesting. She was training them so they could get the shots. Like she wouldn't feed this one shark, it had to come over this coral and then she would feed it. And then after the second time, it was doing it by itself, and that's how they got the shark coming over the coral photo.
A lot of sharks are really not dangerous at all.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be in the water with them.
No, I've been in the Gulf with a lot of sharks swimming
Yeah.
around me, so yeah.
This girl's not doing that. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I like that flamingo. I like the color. Reflections. And all the babies.
Wow.
That poor lizard.
Run on the wall though. I don't think it's an actual cat.
Hmm?
I think that cat's like artwork on the wall. I don't think it's,
I
Mhm.
think that's the
Yeah.
case, Marty. That's what I'm looking at. Yeah.
it doesn't look like a real cat.
And the gecko just happens to be there.
Yeah.
Brian, is there a way to freeze lizards to put them in photos?
Sure.
You don't have to. I've taken hundreds and hundreds of pictures of lizards. And they can stand still for you.
Glass steels. Huh. And there's Margie's
There's
favorite.
my poor baby.
We'll
I
get
couldn't-
that out of there, Margie. I don't
Oh
want you
my
to suffer.
gosh, that frog is adorable.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but my eye keeps going to the white part.
Better days.
Boy, it looks like the photographer is too close to that bear.
I do.
You probably zoomed in on it.
Okay, Margie.
I know, I see it. Good
Now
photo.
that is cute.
Yeah. That's the way I feel all winter long.
You just need some monkeys to huddle with.
I know.
It actually so.
So just out of curiosity on this one,
Mm-hmm.
if it was your photo, would you have cropped over a little bit to eliminate the dead space on the right side at all?
I probably would have.
I don't think I would have.
I think that that what's on the right side is important because it's the snow flying through the air from their feet.
Yeah, it shows the motion.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, that makes sense. I'll buy
And
that.
this way it also puts their heads pretty close to the thirds line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck is that thing?
I guess the horse.
Let's see if
It looks like some kind of Chinese sculpture,
I
but
grip.
Seahorse.
It looks like he's quite deceased.
don't know. It's cute looking.
Elvis birds.
I was thinking along the lines of the grandpa from Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase.
I haven't
You know,
seen
the one that lights the cigar up and ends up burning up the tree and stuff. His hair was like that.
Oh, that's freaking neat.
Wow. That's pretty cool looking.
Now that I really, really like. Do you know what a mud dauber does? A mud dauber will take a spider, rip off the legs and put it in their nest and wait until the babies hatch so the babies can eat that spider alive. I
Interesting.
used to like mud daubers.
Spider.
I used to like them until I found that out. I am.
This one's tough to see.
Yeah, it's a badger. Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, I would have brought it out a little bit more.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty, isn't it?
I assume that was a trail camera.
I don't know, trail cameras aren't that sharp, I don't think.
Mm,
Or not, the trail cameras that I've seen are not that sharp.
Actually, I've been watching a bunch of YouTube videos. They set up 35 millimeter or DSLRs and they call it a camera trap. They'll use flashes and all kind of stuff to set them off. They're getting pictures like that.
Well, that would make more sense than a trail camera.
So this looks grotesque.
Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
I don't think I like that one.
That looks like it got hit by a car.
What's that, Alan?
So that one looks like it got hit by a car.
No, he's walking down.
Oh, you
those
think that's a
stairs.
Look right
wound
there.
on its shoulder?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, the injury.
But then
Probably
right
the-
above it, it looks like it has a collar or a leash or something there. A green spot.
Up here.
Yeah.
I think that's,
That's the steps, I
that's the
think.
wall.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, because underneath you can see the green too.
Yep.
All right, I thought those were pretty cool.
Yeah.
And this is National Geographic Pictures of the Year.
I love Natural Geographic. You're so creative. See, Ryan, we should have stopped there. We had going to Louisiana along that bridge. They had a bunch of cypress trees with the moss hanging from there, and probably could have caught some alligators too.
Yeah.
Need to go back.
Okay.
That's interesting to look at.
It almost looks like an onion.
Oh, that's on a volcano. That's one of the fake astronauts on that Artemis launch.
Oh, so cute. 6-month-old.
I don't know what that's. Okay, that's it. Okay, guys, that's it for me. It's a short one tonight.
Well, thank you very much. I like looking at other people's pictures.
Thanks, Jim.
All righty.
All right. Who has,
Me. I have tips if that's what you were going to ask.
that's where I was headed.
Okay. Let me see here. All right, let's see, where was I? Come on, share screen. I don't know what that's about, but I'm gonna hit share screen and let me know if y'all see it.
Yep.
Okay. I got something for Brian.
Oh, cool. That's a perfect house for me.
You know,
Other than it's water. I don't want to be around. I don't like water stuff.
look at what they have to go down every day, just check their mail down here.
Well, that's the reason you only check the mail once a month.
Yeah. Now, I enlarged this as the reason it's a little bit out of focus, but you know, a lot of pictures we take, a lot of them don't have much emotion in there. And when I looked at this and I thought, holy crud, you know, the very thought of having a dog up there and playing ball is not a good idea. And no.
Fetch Fido.
it really brought emotion out because there's nothing but water around there. And you don't want one drink too many, that's for sure. So yeah, I would never live in something like that, but I know that Brian likes isolated places. So I thought of him.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it did, it did bring out emotion when I took a look at that thing. All right, tonight I'm going to show you, now I was going to show you the difference between iPhone, the newest iPhone and the Android, and it would have been too long. I really like this guy here. And he's with iPhone Photography School, and he has a lot of great videos. And so I thought we would go ahead and watch him. And it shows you what you could do with an iPhone, but it also, you can do it with one of the Android phones, I'm quite sure of. So let's get it started.
I'm going to share with you some advanced long exposure techniques so you can capture some truly spectacular long exposures with your iPhone. I think you're going to be absolutely blown away by the kind of images we're going to take today. Now, we're almost at the end of the course, and I wanted to save the best stuff until the very end. I think you'll agree that long exposure photography is one of the most exciting things you can do with the iPhone. For the first section of the video, we're going to be taking long exposure photos in the sea. And after that, we'll head into the city at night, where I'll show you how you can do light trail photography with the iPhone. Now, the reason I wanted to come here today is because of these concrete blocks. And I think they're going to provide for some terrific long exposure photography opportunities. So it's a partially cloudy day. We might get some rain later, hopefully not, but it is on the forecast. But what's interesting about this day is that there are going to be clouds coming in and out, in and out. And for this type of photography, it's actually okay to have a cloudy day. But if the sun does peek out from time to time, that sun is actually going to illuminate those blocks. And that can create for some interesting photo opportunities as well. That's enough talking for now. Let's take the first shot. So I've now opened up the camera app of my iPhone. And the first thing I'm going to do is switch to my 2x lens. As I do that, you'll see that I'm so much closer to this one concrete block. I wanted to make it as simple as possible. So I don't want to see the sky. I don't want to see any other blocks. I just want this one block positioned centrally in the frame. Now, at the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see that Live Photos is on, so that's good. And I'm going to try to keep my iPhone as steady as I can. And I'll now go ahead and press the shutter. I'm going to open the Photos app of my iPhone. And here's the image that we just captured. I'm going to select long exposure. And as I make that choice, you'll see the long exposure image developing, and it looks absolutely stunning. So long exposure is not just for waterfalls. There are many different kinds of long exposure photos that work really, really well. And this is clearly one example of that. With that said, there are a couple of things I have to consider when I convert my live photos into a long exposure. Because what's happening behind the scenes is that the 3-second video that comes recorded with each live photo gets transformed into a long exposure image. So that image is really a composite of that little 3-second video file that gets captured together with the live photo. And unfortunately, that means that the quality of the final image isn't going to be as high as it would be otherwise. So the photo we just created would be perfectly fine for social media, and it is a beautiful photo. But if you want to do some high quality work for print or for an exhibition, for example, then this is probably not going to work. Another problem is that the length of the exposure is fixed. What if I want to do 10, 15, 30 seconds? Well, for that, I can't use live photos because the only option I have with live photos is a 3-second long exposure. If I want any other exposure time, that's not going to work. Now, the good news is that both these problems can be fixed quite easily using a dedicated long exposure app called Slow Shutter Cam. But for this app, I definitely need to use a tripod. So I'm going to set up my tripod right now. Okay, so now my iPhone is in a tripod and I've already opened the Slow Shutter Cam app. So I need to switch to 2x. On the right-hand side, you'll see that there's this circular icon that says 1x. If I tap my finger there, I'm now switched over to my 2x lens. And I'm going to quickly adjust composition just a little bit, just like this. By default, the app is set up in such a way where you're going to get a really low quality image. We don't want that. So to go into settings, I'm going to tap on this icon at the bottom left-hand corner. And here, the first thing I want to change is photo resolution. We're going to select the largest resolution possible, which is 12 megapixels. Next up, I want to change the photo file format. I want to make sure that my photos have more colors and that they take up less space. So I'm going to select HEIS at the bottom, and that's going to be the high efficiency file format. And the next thing I want to enable is the grid. So as I turn that on, I'm going to have those grid lines, and it will make it easier to compose my shots. Another option I want to quickly enable is geotagging. So that's going to essentially save the location of my long exposure photos. All right, so now we have the correct settings. So I'm going to tap done at the top right-hand corner, and I'm back into the Slow Shutter Cam app. We're almost ready to start shooting, but there's one more thing I need, and that is the white Apple earbuds. So I'm going to plug these into my iPhone, and I'm going to be able to use these as a remote shutter release. When I'm going to hit the shutter, that could actually cause enough movement to cause a blurry image. And I can prevent that if I just use the volume up button on these headphones. So at the top left-hand corner, you're going to see this icon. And if I tap my finger there, I'm going to have all these capture options. And at the top, I'm going to make sure that motion blur is selected. Next up, we have blur strength. So that's how much the app is going to blur the motion that happens around my subject. So I'm going to take the blur strength setting, and I'm going to take it all the way to maximum. And for shutter speed, let's see what happens if we do 15 seconds. So I'm happy with these settings, and I'm going to go ahead and release the shutter using my headphones. As that circle around the shutter button gets complete, the exposure will be finished. And look at this image right here. That looks absolutely incredible. All you see here is our subject in the middle of this white nothingness. And clearly, selecting the maximum blur strength works in our favor. But how do I know what's the correct exposure time? There are two ways to go about this. One way is to just try them all and see what works best. But another option that I like even better is to use something known as the bulb mode. Let me show you. So I'm going to open those settings again. And in the middle where it says shutter speed, if I go all the way to the right, you'll see that now it says bulb. Now with bulb mode, I haven't actually specified the shutter speed at all. Instead, when I press the volume up button on my headphones for the first time, exposure is going to start, and it will continuously capture the long exposure until I choose to stop it. So right now, with the bulb mode activated, I'm still capturing my image. And at this point, I could leave it on for a minute, for 2 minutes, and honestly, nothing would really change. So this image looks done to me. So I'm going to press volume up again, and now you can see this beautiful long exposure. So right now, I don't know what the next shot is going to be. But if I want to find the best composition possible, it makes sense for me to quickly explore the scene by doing a few handheld long exposures where I'm going to convert the live photo into long exposure. I'll see if it looks good. And if it does, that's when I'll get out my tripod, set up Slow Shutter Cam, and do high quality long exposure. They'll give me the best image possible. I found myself another spot, and this time we're going to take a photo of that beautiful lighthouse at the end of the pier. Now, if you look at the scene, one of the first things you're going to see is that the lighthouse is nicely illuminated. But it's not just in the sun, it's actually sidelit. And you can clearly see that because the left-hand side of the lighthouse is illuminated, but the right-hand side is in the shadow, which looks really, really good. At the bottom right-hand corner, I have the same rocks that we were capturing earlier, but this time they're in a nice composition where the lighthouse is kind of at the top left-hand corner of the image, and those rocks are at the bottom right. But we also have some really special clouds here. I got to start a capture right now. So press the shutter, and as more and more time goes on, those clouds are moving to the scene from the left to the right, and eventually they're also getting blurred out. Now, I don't want to overdo this. It is possible to keep the shutter open for too long. So I'm going to stop the capture right here. This looks absolutely stunning. We have all this beautiful motion blur in the sky. Now, it's the kind of sky you would never see with your eyes. But with a long exposure, you can get a shot like that. And that's what makes this image so special. I'm really happy with the images we were able to capture at this incredible location. I'm going to hike all the way back, and later tonight, when it starts to get dark, I'll show you how you can capture stunning light trail photos with your iPhone. So here we are at our next location. And for this photo shoot, I'm actually standing on top of this bridge. Below me, there's a big road with a lot of cars. And as those cars drive on that road, they're going to give me the opportunity to capture light trail photos. But what is a light trail photo? Well, a light trail image is the kind of image where you have some kind of bright lights. You also have motion in that. If you do a long exposure, you can blur out those lights to create a really special photo. Now, I know it's kind of confusing, but I'm going to show you exactly how that works in this video. To do light trail photography, it has to be dark outside. I couldn't do this in the middle of the day. So I've come here for the blue hour. The sun has just set maybe 10 minutes ago. And the benefit of shooting in the blue hour is that the image is not going to be completely black. That blue hour is not going to last forever. Typically, the peak of blue hour is only going to be for 10, 15 minutes. That's the time when I'll be able to capture the most beautiful photos. If you look at the image I've framed up, I'm actually quite happy with this composition already. So I'm standing right in the middle of that road. Those stripes in the center of the road are right in the middle of my composition as well. So it's a very symmetrical shot. That's good. Now, another thing I like about this specific spot is that down there is a place where cars can do a U-turn. If that happens when I'm taking photos, I'm going to have that U-turn captured as a light trail as well. I think it's going to look really spectacular. Now, on the top right-hand corner, we have the National Library of Latvia. It's the same building we visited in the architecture video, and that building has some lights as well. So that's going to be another interesting detail in my shot. And on the left, we have the President's Palace, and that building is also going to be illuminated in the yellow tone. So it's going to be another color in my shot. It's time to capture the first light trail shot. To do that, I first need to click on the gear icon at the top left-hand corner. Here, we're not going to be shooting with motion blur. Instead, we're going to select the second capture mode, which is light trail. There are a couple of settings that are going to be really important. Number one, light sensitivity. 1/8 is essentially how much of all the lights that I have in that scene will get added to the long exposure. Next up, we have our shutter speed. And I'm going to keep that at full. All right, we got all the settings into place. So I'm just going to tap anywhere on the screen to close that capture mode window. And we're now ready to take our first light trail photo. If I start to capture right now, I'm getting a clean scene. So if you can, try to have a clean start of the capture for these light trail images. Now, one car just drove through the scene. You can see those red taillights, those got blurred out. So I'm getting my first light trails as we speak. Now look at those cars that are driving towards me. As they keep driving, I'm getting all those lights saved as light trails, and that looks absolutely stunning. Now this can be overdone. So I'm going to use this opportunity to end this capture. And now take a look at this image. This is already stunning. So now that we've captured our first light trail, let's see how we could improve this. How can we make this better? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is changing that light sensitivity setting. So to do that, I'm going to tap on the settings icon. And here where it says light sensitivity, instead of 1/8, I'm going to choose 1/4. Those light trails are going to be much brighter. All right, let's start another capture. So I press that shutter, the capture is on, and this looks absolutely stunning. And this time, with that 1/4 for light sensitivity, the light trails are actually much stronger. So I'm going to end the capture right now. You can see that at 1/4, the image got filled up so much faster. So literally within seconds, this image is pretty much complete. And now, if any more cards were added to this would no longer improve the photo. It would actually start to get worse. So you never know how long that capture has to be. That's why you have to shoot with bulb mode. So the shots we got so far already look spectacular. But can I make them even better? Is there anything else I could do? This scene and this image is still just a little bit too bright. The one thing I could try to do is set exposure in this image. And to do that, I'm going to simply tap my finger on the screen like this. You'll see those two icons come up. So the first one is focus. And I'm going to leave focus right here, where those cars are going to make those U-turns. And the second icon is that circle. That's our exposure. So I'm going to pick an exposure point where we have the most lights. So that's right here where those cars are coming from. So I'm going to tap my finger on the right-hand side where it says AE, and now I've locked that exposure on the brightest part of the scene. I can do the same for focus if I want to. Then I simply have to tap the AF icon on the right-hand side, and now both focus and exposure are locked. Now, by locking that exposure on the brightest part of the scene, I've made the image just a tiny bit darker, and that's going to be a higher quality image. It's also going to look better because those light trails are going to stand out more on a darker image. All right, let's start that capture now. I had an empty road. That's the perfect time to start the long exposure. So now the first couple of parts have come on the right-hand side. You can see those first light trails. But next, a whole bunch of cars are approaching from the left. And you can see the image develop right in front of my eyes. That looks absolutely stunning. But my challenge is, when do I stop this? I don't want to overdo this. I don't need too much of a good thing. And actually, I think when these two cars leave, that's when I'm going to stop, right now. This looks really cool, actually. We have really strong light trails both on the left and on the right. And with that 1/4 for light sensitivity, and with that exposure lock, I'm really getting a lot of contrast in that image. Those light trails really stand out now. And you're going to see that the sky and the river on the right, they're catching that blue tone more and more. So as we're entering the blue hour, this is just getting better and better. I'm going to wait for a good moment to start this again. This is the peak light. This is the best light of the day. And with the road being completely empty, I'm going to start it again. All right, there goes the first car on the right. Another car on the right. That's perfect. And now the cars start coming in from the left as well. So there's this one car that kind of took a bit of an unusual trajectory, but it does kind of look interesting. It's originating from the foreground, almost like a leading line. I'm going to stop it right here. And I like this image because it's so different from all the other shots we captured. And let's do another one. Hopefully this is going to work out great. Let's see. All right, that U-turn is now complete. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of cars on the left. And done. This was really lucky. Now, in a situation like this, where I'm capturing light trails of those cars, I'm not in control. I'm just an observer here. But what I can do is come here early, be prepared, and when I have that peak light, I've got to use every minute to capture the most beautiful photos possible. And that's what we did tonight. There you have it. This is how you can do advanced long exposure photography with your iPhone. Again, if you want to do a quick long exposure Converting a live photo into a long exposure works just fine. I do it all the time, and I love those images. But if you want to get the highest quality results possible, you got to use slow shutter cam. And with that app, you have a lot more control. Control the exposure time. You can choose between different capture modes. You can choose between different blur strengths, light sensitivity. And with all that control, with all those settings, you can capture some truly remarkable long exposure photos with your iPhone. This video was a free preview of my iPhone Photo Academy online course. In this course, you'll discover everything you need to know to take stunning photos with your iPhone. So if you'd like to take the kind of photos that will leave your friends and family speechless.
He's really good. He's got quite a few different videos just like this. And he's with the iPhone photography school. I like him. It gives you another way to use your iPhone. Okay.
Hey, Margie, did you take a look at that other video I sent you on the iPhone?
Yes, I
and,
did, and I like that. I definitely
the
like
camera?
that.
That may be one for maybe another tip or trick or something, because I thought that
agree.
video was really it dives into the new iPhone and the raw file that it working with, and he compared it with what was the camera or a Canon
Yeah, he had a
Canon
something.
R5.
Yeah, it was Canon 5. Yeah,
And I'll tell you, it was a pretty good video. Maybe we'll watch it next time or another night.
I agree.
It was good information.
I like that.
It wasn't just a guy telling you, hey, the iPhone's got a new camera and it's great.
Yeah,
Kind of thing. He explained why it's great. So it was pretty good.
I'm gonna download that slow shutter cam app because, it did an awful lot, and I want to start practicing with it. Your cameras, there's so much you can do with them. I didn't know you can use earbuds for a shutter,
Yeah.
I've been using the slow shutter app for a long time. It's really cool.
I'm glad you told me that. I'm definitely eager to go ahead and give it a try. But, at our meetings, because so many of us have cell phones, we don't always lug our heavy camera around. It's nice to know more about what your camera can do, how it does it. So that's it on the tips, but I do have one other thing I need to bring up. For the next couple of months, I'll probably be out. January 16th or whatever it was the deal at IHOP, the Talk About. Now, I know when I talk to the manager that he hires extra people or he has his people work longer hours when we have a larger group come in. But, if we reserve it and there's 3 people that show up like they did last time, it looks bad on us because he's going in the hole by hiring extra people or, having his crew work longer hours. I think I'm not going to be there, of course, next month or this month. I don't know who all is going to be there. It's January, what the weather's going to be like. I didn't know if it would be easier for just to wait maybe until March and start it up again. I want to throw that back to y'all and see what you say. It's up to y'all.
The first time we met, the first meeting, it was Thursday night. And we seemed to have quite a good turnout.
Yes.
Then we changed it to Wednesday night. And there were 3 of us. And I don't know how much it has to do with the night versus it was the second one and people didn't remember. But I think if it's only going to be 3, we should put it off.
I agree with that. What I was worried about is what is it going to be like? Are we going to have a blizzard or whatever, Is it going to be snow that's hard for people to come to? I do know the women that were at the party out of Somerset, was it Uniontown, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they said they wanted to come, but it was dark at night. But if it was warmer weather, then they would like to start coming to it. I don't know what to do. I'm sort of, I'm going to put it with Annie to set everything up. Whether we have it,
Yeah,
I need to know though, what you all think.
I
We had
think
to
a
do it
Thursday-
Wednesday night. Yeah, Wednesday night. I can't remember why, but we had to change it last time to Wednesday night
well,
for
I think we just wanted to try a different night.
our
I-
Thanksgiving or
I
think we
something.
prefer-
Yeah, I
Swig
think-
was that Thursday because stuff
Yeah.
was changed because of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think Thursday would work better because some people have night church on Wednesdays. And
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
I think, sorry, I think Wednesday people have church at night on Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
I think Thursday would work better.
So should we go ahead and try it in January or just wait until
How
something
many-
like,
How many people are interested?
yeah, really? Who would make it this month?
I would be late.
think
What's your
so.
date for this month?
16.
16th, I think.
There's no.
No, it's the 19th.
19th. Yeah, it's on a Thursday. 'Cause-
Yeah, it's the 19th.
Yeah, it is the 19th.
I could, there's a
I'd
good chance I could make it for that night.
I'd be there.
What about the rest of you?
We would come, but we would be late,
Okay.
7:30.
Well, I know Nate wants to go because he wants another omelet.
Yeah,
I'm with
I-
Nate. I'm hungry.
yeah. Yeah, I like going there because of the food, you can eat. Like I said, I would go if I was available to go, but I won't be available to go.
I'll probably be there Wednesday.
Day,
Okay,
it's a Thursday.
yeah. it's
Sorry, Thursday.
Yeah.
I'll be there on the right day then.
I was gonna say, you might be there by yourself on a Wednesday, but
Yeah. And they also have other things Wednesday. They had that movie. And little
they had-
kids supposed to come.
Yeah, they had two other things actually, and nobody came to that either.
Yeah,
No.
I think it was just the holiday. And
yeah. I'm hoping that's it because
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the first
yeah, I
one.
did too.
So we have what, Marty, Beth, Nate, Brian, maybe, Jim.
Probably not.
All right. So then we have Dennis.
Yeah, Barb would come too.
Okay,
Well, we might eat something, but if they want a, full breakfast, it won't be a full breakfast.
yeah.
And you can't, the weather is the
Up in
wild.
there. Yeah,
yeah, and
I
I
mean, he
mean,
could staff up and nobody show up.
I'm sure that the manager understands that too, that if it's bad weather, people aren't
Yeah.
coming,
yeah.
and
And
as
we
a-
can let him know,
Yeah. and
So-
he'll, if it's bad weather, he's probably gonna send his people home anyhow, so,
Yeah.
Dennis, I enjoyed the second one.
Okay, then we will continue to plan on for
Yeah.
January the 19th. We'll contact them and let them know, 7, 8 people coming or what, something along that line.
Yeah. And I don't think it's an issue if there's only 3 or 4 people, as long as they expect only 3 or 4 people.
I agree.
Yeah.
There is
And
no issue. And I
It's
see.
far easier to handle 3 or 4 and then have 8 than it is to have planned for 16 and have 4.
Yeah,
yeah. Yep.
okay.
We're a pretty patient group. I mean,
All right, well, I will turn it over to the rest of y'all.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think it should encourage Angie to send out reminders pretty frequently.
Who?
Annie, yeah.
Annie.
All right.
I'm sure we can handle that.
Cool. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about before we get, I'm gonna talk about masking in a little bit tonight. No? All right.
I may not stay that long. I've been at it all day and I'm not feeling up to par. So,
Well, hang on for just a minute or two because I don't know if you've seen this. Who have y'all updated to the latest version of Lightroom?
Yeah.
Those of you using it. Have you looked at anything as far as masking in Lightroom?
Yes,
I used it the other night. Yeah.
I use it a lot.
Okay. Have you used the new version of the masking in Lightroom?
I think so.
All right. So that's what we're going to take a look at.
Okay. I'll
I'm gonna-
stick with you.
I'm going to bring it up. I mean, it's Lightroom has gotten we've been talking about AI and we've been talking about photo raw and we've talking about on one and we've been talking about Luminar and all this stuff, and Lightroom and Adobe has been quietly quietly to me at least making things better. And so I'm going to show you a couple things that they have included in this latest version of Lightroom. So let me share my screen.
Do you know what the latest version is?
24, I believe it is now, or no, it's 23.
Okay. Yeah,
I
I'll
just-
double check.
I
think
literally updated about 10 minutes before this meeting, so it's 100%. I do believe it's 23 at this point.
Okay.
Photoshop or Lightroom or
Lightroom is what I'm going to look at. Photoshop is also updated, and they've also updated their masking techniques as well. But I
Lightroom's-
haven't gotten into that, so I'm not going to show it this evening.
Lightroom is 12.1.
Is it 12.1?
Yeah. On my screen. I think that's right.
Oh, let's see. You guys seeing Lightroom for me?
Yes.
All right. Release date 12.1. Yeah. Okay. That's it.
Okay.
I think when I was in the that ain't what I want. This thing. That's where I got the 23 from, because Photoshop update recently was 24.1. Lightroom was
Yeah.
12.1. Okay, that's where I got the 23 and 24. I was thinking about the wrong program. Sorry, guys. Anyhow, 12.1 is the latest version of Lightroom Classic. So that's what we got running here. It took me, I don't know, maybe 4 minutes to do the upgrade, the upload and upgrade. So not very long. And so I want to talk about, we've talked about masking before in Lightroom. So I pulled up a couple pictures here. I don't know if we'll look at them all, but we'll look at a couple of them here. I'm going to go into develop mode. And this is just a picture we took a while back that I took. And we talked about masking before. And remember a while back, I thought I was really excited when Photoshop came out with sky masking. And it masks a sky just like that. You guys seen that happen. That was pretty quick. And it does a pretty good job. It's not 100%. You can see down in here some blue in these trees, but that's a pretty tough mask no matter what, because of those trees. So that was pretty good. I'm gonna just delete that mask real quick. And then they came out with this subject masking. And it does a pretty good job at that too. So it did a pretty good job. You see it caught a little bit of the tree here in this section here, but Photoshop did that pretty well and pretty quickly, as you can see, and it done a nice job. And then you can add to that and you subtract to that. So you can refine that by going to the subtract and grab a brush. I can come in here, make this a little bit bigger. Let's move it around here. And I want to get this tree out of here. I can go in here and mask this out and get rid of that area so that I'm not working on that tree. So you can see it kind of go away. I got my flow way down. Let's make this bigger. So there you go. So you can go in there and mask and adjust that mask that Photoshop did. And that was great. Because remember that not too long ago, it was about a year ago, I think it was, that they came out with that. And I thought, wow, this is absolutely amazing. I love it. It's the best thing since sliced bread. It made things so much easier. And it did. Well, they've updated this now. So let's go to this picture here. And now we got a picture, and again, it's not a great picture. It's for purposes, for demonstration purposes. So don't critique my picture, guys. But so now we tell Photoshop, hey, let's look at the subject. And it did that. That's okay, but what if that's not what I really wanted to do? Can't do background because then it does that, and that doesn't work. Obviously can't use sky. So now Photoshop has added these things in here. And if we look at objects, and we click on objects, it gives you a brush, which you can adjust in size up and down. And you can go in and do this. And it don't have to be perfect. And now Photoshop knows that that's the object that you wanted to mask.
You keep saying Photoshop.
I'm sorry, I'm in Lightroom. Adobe.
I know that. I thought I was just.
Lightroom knows that that's the object that you wanted to mask. So that's pretty cool. And it does a really good job. So let's say I want to do another one of those. Let me go back and click on my mask. Well, I said I should go here, create mask. I'm going to go to object, and let's do this guy here. And you don't have to be real precise with that, because Lightroom is working with what you told it to work with. So now I have two different masks in here. I have the one for that one, and I have the one for that, and I can work on these two subjects one at a time, or you can, click on your dots inside there, and that decides the mask. And again,
Hey,
with that,
Brian,
yeah.
Brian, how sensitive is it? If you were to be more careful when you did the cup, for instance, and when you did the handle, would it not highlight that area inside the cup or inside the handle? You know what I mean?
That's a good question. Let's see. Let's go to delete masks 2. Okay. So let's add a mask in. Let's go to object. And I don't think that it's going to go around that. Maybe it will. So we could do that, and then we could add to that mask and then use a brush and get more sensitive.
Yeah, you could also leave you could subtract it from the original mask.
Oh, absolutely. But
Right.
I'm just curious how good it is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try it a little bit.
Hey, Brian, if you don't mind, just do a single vertical stripe through the cup. I'm curious how much it needs to see.
Okay. Oop. Create a new mask. I'm going to do an object. So it needs more information than that, Jim. It only,
Okay, yeah, just curious.
that
Thanks.
section there.
There's no free lunch, Jim. Nice try, though.
Yep. But as as far as object selection, it's doing a pretty good job, though. Let's see if we can get a little bit better there. Let's see what it does. Now, see, it's still going to grab that.
Yeah,
Again,
but Brian, you could subtract out that.
yeah. Now I can go in with my brush,
Yeah.
and
Still in that area.
get bigger, and then I can get in here and read and define this, that I don't want this area, kind of like so. But as far as time wise goes, that's pretty good. And it's pretty good, and it gives you the option of being able to do these things relatively quickly. And then instead of spending, as the old way, let's delete that again. The old way was we went in here and we started a mask, create new mask, and we didn't have this object selection. We had brush, and then we went in here and we tried to brush a mask on here. and you had to fool around and try to get it right and all that stuff. And then, so it's definitely a lot faster as far as your workflow goes. I can use now the object selection, come here and go object selection and get my object. And now I can define my smaller areas in a lot faster speed is what I like about it. And it does a pretty good job, as you can see. I mean, that one's pretty well. Let's go 100%. Let's take a look at it. It's pretty close in what it's selected. You can see a little bit down in here where it's in a dark shadow, but you, again, can go back down in there and hit subtract and delete some of that out of there and you're good to go. So anyhow, the idea that's a lot fast. It's faster, and which I found really, really nice. So let's take a look at a different picture. We got this one here. So if you notice over here in our masking panel, we still have our subject or sky, all that, but we have this thing here that says people. And that's pretty cool. So if I go old school and I say, select a subject, Lightroom does a pretty good job. It selects the subject and it ain't too bad. It does a good job, pulled it out of there. And then you can redefine that and that kind of stuff. But if you make a adjustment, you're making an adjustment to that whole layer, to everything, that whole subject, which we don't want to do. Maybe we want to do that. So this new part that Lightroom has in it, it has this person down here. And if I click on the person, it now breaks that down into, we have the entire person, or we can click that off. We can work on just her face skin, body skin, eyebrows, the whites of her eyes, the iris and the pupils, her lips, her teeth, or her hair. And it also,
Pretty cool.
in this particular picture, if you notice the hair that's on, that's whatever this is over her shoulder, I don't think that was her hair. I think it was part of her outfit. But when I go over hair, it actually picked that out too. Because you can see it changing color for the masking. So that, again, now we're looking at a really, really fast way of doing something. So let's do, we're going to do mask just on, let's do her face and her body skin. So we're going to work on all that. We're going to tell it to create a mask. So now it's created a mask up here. It says person 1 face skin, person 1 body skin, and that's mask number 1. So now I can adjust those things individually. So if I go to person 1, that one's highlighted. Okay. Person 1 face skin. And I go in here. Oh, nope, sorry, wrong thing. I'm trying to think of what I wanted to do with that. I've totally lost my line of thought because there's a way you can use that to.
You want to darken the background or the skin?
No, there was, I watched the information the other day on it and I forgot how to do it. There's a way to bring up things like, you want to, smooth the skin out and stuff like that. And I can't think of how it was done. I'm sorry. I apologize. My brain has died on me at this point.
You have on the right panel, like texture and clarity and.
Yeah, but there was actually a way that in the video I watched, it was Julianne Cost, I think that was her name. She showed being able to go into like a preset of smoothing the skin out. But I don't know where that's at or how that was happened. So I apologize. I'll learn that and show that at another point. But anyhow, what's that?
Would it be in the presets? Snapshot?
No, it wasn't there.
Yeah.
I think it's over on the right. That's where you see all that. Those things usually show up. I don't see it.
Yeah, it should be over here, but I can't remember what she did to do that. But anyhow, we can work on the body skin, contrast highlights, anything. We can do that with this mask that it's created. Which I thought was pretty good. And then again, you can go back and add in. We can go to select people, click on her again and say, let's look at the whites of her eyes. Let's go create a mask for that. So now we have her eyes, and then we can adjust that and brighten her eyes up. Of course, you're not going to do that. I'm just doing that as an example so you can see it making happen, see it happening. But really, yeah, I know it's weird.
She looks a little possessed.
Yeah.
It's kind of burning a hole through my screen right now.
Let's make it real. There you go.
There you go.
Let's do another one. Let's go create a mask, and we're going to select people. We click on her again, and let's look at her irises and pupils this time. Let's make her really possessed. There you go. So anyhow, the point is that Lightroom has added in these really cool features when you're dealing with a person. So let's see what it does with this. And I haven't tried this yet, but look at that. It went through and it pulled three people. So it's recognizing that this is actually a person. Of course, there's no skin or anything like that. But now it went ahead and it looked at that picture and it picked up all three people, and we can go in and pick each person and work on that person. And then we can do entire, or we can do face, we can do each one of those things as well for each person then. And create masks based on Lightroom. Again, making things faster, making things quicker. Her hair. Really nice mask of her hair, quick and easy. So anyhow, that's what I wanted to show as far as that goes. I thought that was really cool.
I like when you did the body skin, it actually picked up their hands too.
Yeah. So body skin, you see it catches her neck. Basically everything from her chin down, it caught her chin, her neck, and her hands. And if we go to the other lady, it does the same thing. Body skin, it catches her neck and her hands. And actually, guys, I did find that it is under presets over here. So I'm going to click on, actually, let's go back to the other one. It's a little better example. Let me delete these masks. Just so we don't have a possessed girl to work with. Okay, we're going to go in here. We're going to click on, let's do face skin. We're going to create a mask from that. So we're looking at just her face. It's not going to touch her eyebrows, not going to touch her teeth, her lips, or her eyes. And over here, we do have portraits, deep skin, medium skin, light skin. And you have these guys you can put on, and that is not what I wanted. That is not what it was supposed to do. It's still not what I'm looking for. You know, I'm going to have to watch some more videos and see how that works. That's making me mad because I watched that and I'm like, that's easy. And it was very easy to do. And it was like a click and you could. Yep. I don't know how it worked. Okay. I'll do a little bit more research and show that part next. But anyhow, I thought this was pretty good. I thought this was a pretty darn good addition to Lightroom, not Photoshop, Lightroom. Actually, I think they added it to Photoshop as well.
I think they did too.
Yeah.
But I haven't dealt into the Photoshop yet. So let's go take a look at it real quick on her.
I used this mask the other day. I didn't do it on the people though, so that was interesting.
Okay, and there's an object selection tool.
Isn't it on the menu, the top menu?
I don't know. This is
Brian?
literally,
Brian,
yeah.
Go to your effects. Like when you select it, go to the effects, and then there's a soften skin under that. On the right. side.
Lightroom?
In
Yeah, in
Lightroom.
Lightroom, yeah.
Lightroom after I do the masking, or
Yeah, after you do the masking.
Yeah, it's the one on the, next to the bottom. You just almost,
See right there, it says effects. Up, nope, up. Right there in that first panel. Effects,
hey, that's it. That's exactly what I was looking for.
soften skin down at the bottom.
Okay, so okay. All right. Do you guys see what we did there?
yeah.
All right. So after you did the mask, you go into custom or effects and you go custom, or you have presets. And we have soften skin light. And I believe that the one I was watching said that they preferred the soften skin light. The other one was too weird. And then you can change that amount here as to how much of that you want it to do it. So if we take that all the way back out and we go up, you can see it softening the skin on her face. That's with none of that. That's at 100%. You can definitely see it change.
Right.
So that's how that was. And thank you very much, Marty, for finding that. I knew it was somewhere that was really, really simple to find.
Right, and I saw that's where the iris was and the teeth.
Yeah.
Right too.
Yeah. So let's try that. Let's go to add, select the people. We're going to go with her. We're going to do how about irises and pupils, create a mask there. And then we can come in here and iris enhance. So let's hide the overlay. So that's without it. Nope, I'm going the wrong direction. Edit, redo, edit, redo. Okay, that's with the all right. So if I shut that off, see her pupil.
Yeah.
Go on. And of course you can adjust the amount of that. And then you can go in and start adjusting that as well if you want. But pretty good. Pretty cool. All right. Since we're doing that, I got to try the teeth now. Teeth whitening. Not bad, guys.
Move the amount slider, see if that changes it.
What's that?
Move the amount, the teeth whitening slider there. I'm curious.
Yeah. It's got a little bit of the red in there, but
Yeah. And again, you can work
Adjust
on
it.
that mask,
yeah, you can.
and we can add a little bit to that mask. We add that with a brush.
I think it's her lipstick on her piece.
Your lipstick a reflection of it.
There you go.
There we go. But pretty quick and easy way of making some adjustments to a portrait or whatever, you know, as we said with the objects and stuff like that. Let's go back to fit and let's just shut these all the way off. That's the original. That's the adjustments. Not too bad. All right, back to Photoshop. Does anyone know where that's at in Photoshop, just so we can see it here?
God, it's been a little bit of time.
Try select.
Select, color range, focus areas, subject,
Yeah.
sky.
Select and mask. I think it's a quick mask is what we needed. I'd have to bring it up.
Yeah,
I think it was a quick mask under the select. Editing, quick glass, and let's see. There's no there. Oh my gosh, my mind is blank. But that's not it. It's dang it. I have to bring it up.
all right. Well, let me put it this way. I'm going to hold Photoshop off until I understand it, because I haven't even looked at it to even know where to go as far as Photoshop goes. But I will take a look at that and make that a tip and trick for maybe next month of how that masking, how this automated masking works in Photoshop as well.
It's
Since we
really
look-
neat how it works too. I just
Yeah.
used it once. And but it was really, really neat because all you have to do is you have to just put your mouse over it. You don't have to click or anything. And if you got 3 people, you can put your mouse, you know, on wherever you want, and it'll mask that part without even clicking. It's really neat. And I played with it once.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a look at that. I will dig into that as far as how that works. Just like I said, I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at a video of it. I just know that they added it, and I don't know anything about it. So I'll add that into. We'll do that as a tips and tricks for next month. Margie, you can put me down for that.
Marty is next month. No,
Oh.
Marty is this month. Okay. Beth, Brian, March is Brian.
Well,
So,
Put me down somewhere for that, and we'll go over that in Photoshop.
okay, Beth, do you want to be put down for April?
No,
Are-
I can't. By April, I don't know when soccer's gonna be.
Okay,
That's okay.
Marty, do you want to be March
Oh,
and let Brian be January?
No.
That's okay. We'll fit it in somewhere. Don't worry about it. We can just add that in, because I won't go as much into detail. We just want to see how it works over there
Yeah.
in Photoshop. So we'll get there. We'll get it in there.
Okay. Yeah, you can do it with Marty next month for tips.
Yeah. We might sneak it into the meeting next week too. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
So no big deal. But anyhow, what do you guys think of this new masking that Lightroom has and Adobe has added into stuff?
I really like it. Like I said, I played with Lightroom 1 just last week, I think, or the week before. I was playing around with the new one, and I liked it. I did not play well, you know how I am with portraits, you know?
Right.
So I didn't play with that part of it.
I used it to drop the backgrounds out of all those flowers you've seen recently.
Okay.
And I think it's impressive as hell.
Yeah, I did too.
I've actually been pretty impressed, particularly with the photos and the close-ups of the people, being able to highlight the eyes and all
Yeah.
that. I always
Yeah.
found that being very tedious. Now it's a couple clicks and you can go and, brighten the eyes, brighten the iris, all that up. So it's excellent for that.
Yeah.
I've hated masking before, so this will make it much nicer.
Yeah.
The only problem I've had with it is I found it to be cumbersome to try and use the graduated filter with it. I use the graduated filter a lot on skies, and I select.
Oh,
the
okay.
sky. I fumble trying to figure out how to do that every time, and I find it very frustrating. That's the
Yeah,
only
I didn't show that. I can add that in too the next time too, a little bit about that, because
Yeah.
I use graduated filters and subtracting and adding to those. quite often, so I can
Yeah.
I can show you a little bit of that as well.
I've had the same problem, Rob. I haven't got the hang of the crossing filters and having to subtract out.
Yeah, yep.
But for the selecting the flowers, it just worked quite well.
Oh, yeah, it's excellent for that. I found it, I wanted it to be all plus, not a little negative, and I got a little frustrated with that because that was an easy thing for me to do before the update. Now
Yeah,
it's kind of cumbersome.
if you'd like to see how a few were done, I would do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Quiet.
Huh?
Quiet.
So anyhow, those work pretty good. I was pretty excited about that. I like the way it's working. I haven't spent much time in my on one yet because I haven't actually went and taken any photographs in a while. So I want to get into that, but I gotta get some pictures taken that I can fool around with on one, because on one we know is got that capabilities as well, as far as selecting subjects in different parts of the picture all at one time, which worked out pretty good a little bit that I played around with it. So I'll mess around with that a little bit as well. But really, I was pretty excited about this new way of masking in Lightroom, because I think it will speed things up tremendously. And I'm all for that. I would rather not spend 6 hours doing one photograph. 3's plenty.
Ryan, I think we've talked about this before. It appears that Adobe is reacting to the competition from other companies like
I agree.
and On One.
I agree 100% that that's
they
what
develop, I think Adobe's just going to keep on keeping up.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're better and better.
Yeah.
Did anybody upgrade their Neo? I don't mean to interrupt, but did anybody upgrade to Neo with all their new extensions?
Neo.
Mhm.
Neo. I don't know what I have with Neo
I don't have
at
any.
this point.
Okay.
I haven't used it in a while, so I don't know what I have with it. I
Well,
think
still, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think mine updates all the time because I have that their subscription or something to that,
Yeah.
but I don't know what all's in there. I haven't been in it for a while.
Okay, well, I just wanted somebody else to try out the sharpening in there, because I was having a little bit of problems with the sharpening in it. So I was hoping that somebody can maybe give me some pointers. And yeah, you will have it because the subscription keeps you updated on all of the new extensions.
Yeah. I haven't messed with it, so I don't know. I can maybe get a chance to take a look at that as well and see if I can figure anything out and what's going on in there. I haven't been in there for a while yet lately.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that was what I had. We got about 10 minutes. Margie, you want to critique a photograph, or you know what? Let me do that. We haven't done it for a while. Let's critique a photograph.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Go back to sharing my screen.
Oh, by the way, Annie won the $25.
Oh, by the way, well, congratulations to Annie. Doesn't this guy's hair look like those birds?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. I was pretty sure that was what it was. So anyhow. All right, let's see. What haven't we critiqued lately? We can't do.
Oh, most of it, so much of it. It's already over with. All of the voting's already over with. I do want to remind people on the voting, not to make a comment until after all the voting is over with.
Yeah, once the voting is done and after the 3 days for the voting, then feel free to go back in and comment all you want. But the reason we asked you not to comment on your actual voting, so we don't want you to go in and say, I vote for this one because it is this, and this, because that kind of biases. We're trying not to bias other people's votes. If that makes sense. But as
Yeah.
soon as the voting is over after the 3 days, please go back and make all the comments and critiques and everything that you possibly can, because that helps for people to understand why you chose that person, that particular photograph. I think that, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Which one was the winner for December? Do we know?
The leaf,
Mhm.
The
the
leaf,
frozen, yeah, the frozen leaf.
frozen leaf.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Right there.
This one here.
Yeah.
Is Candy on here tonight?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, we're gonna look at it anyhow. Make it bigger, make it bigger. That's as big as she gets. We'll go back down one notch there so we can. All right, guys. So this was the winner.
Yeah. The leaf itself, the subject with all of the ice crystals on there, is a very good subject. I believe it is out of focus. And the surrounding area, I would like to have seen a more shallow depth of field so that the leaf really stands out. But the way the stem comes down and the ice crystals, I really do like. Next.
What are y'all thinking?
I find the periphery distracting.
I am completely lost in the picture because there's too much going on.
Yes. I
It's
agree.
too busy.
Yes. That's true. And I said a better
Yeah.
shallow depth of field would have made it stand out even more.
But if you take your Lightroom selection tool.
Yeah,
and-
I was thinking the same thing, Dennis. We can make that happen quick now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely can. Definitely can.
Drive that background down and bring the leaf out.
Yep. And make it sharper. It's really very,
Well, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, I don't think it's sharp because these edges of the
Yeah.
leaf itself don't look sharp, but this here looks pretty good. That center section right there.
I don't know. I think it's still
But
soft.
I don't know that. I mean, you could try to sharpen it. I don't know if that's going to help it or not.
I don't think so.
But it's just, to me, it's too busy. There's too much going on.
Yeah.
And I can't pay attention to anything really in it because I can't figure out where I'm supposed to look.
Yeah. I agree.
Who liked it?
I don't know. There was 3 people that liked it, I think.
I voted for it.
Who?
Bye.
Yeah.
So
Beth?
what do you think of it? What
Yeah.
attracted you to it?
The small portion of the leaf that's out of focus doesn't bother me at all. Overall, when you look at the leaf, it looks sharp. If you try to zero down and look at some particular spot on the leaf, yes, I can see where a little bit's out of focus. I just think it's a nice photo.
Yeah.
What about you, Beth? Is she still here?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't think I voted for this one.
Oh.
It was Linda voted and Annie voted.
I just like the subject matter, I think, more than anything.
Yeah, I like the subject matter, and I do actually wish that the ice crystals were a little bit crisper. And then I probably would have voted for it, but I think a vignette would have been enough to
Yeah.
help.
Uh-huh.
Because with all of the white on the ice, that does draw your eye to the middle. And
I
especially
really- I
with the
like-
lines in the veins of the leaf.
I think I think there's stuff that could have been done to the picture to make it better.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
I
I'm not
like
saying-
Dennis's idea.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I don't like the picture, but I think there's things that
Could improve
could
it.
have been done to really would have improved the picture. And getting rid of some of the busyness and a vignette and darkening the background and or softening the background more, all those kind of things could have helped this picture a lot, I believe.
You would have brought the leaf out.
Yeah. Yep.
And it gets lost. It's just,
Yep.
but I like the subject. I do like the subject. I like the idea of her taking a picture of a leaf with all the crystals on it.
Yeah. Yep. All right, what do we got? We got about 3 minutes. Let's take a look at something else.
Yes.
I want to look at this picture right up here. I want to look at this one.
Hey, Brian, could
Yeah.
you drag your share bar down? or
Thank
over?
you. I would keep saying that.
You guys can see that? I didn't think you could see that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I didn't know you guys could see that, or I wouldn't even had it there.
yeah.
Sorry, I apologize.
Can it go up one more or is that it, huh?
If
can
it
go
goes
up-
more, it's gonna go off the screen.
Yeah, I mean, I can get it. It will go a little bit bigger, but you're
No,
losing it.
that's, yeah, we lose it then. No,
Yeah,
that's
there-
fine. Just
Can
like
you
the-
get it all on the
that's-
screen?
What's that?
Fit it to the screen?
That's fit right there. If
Okay.
I go one more notch, then
Yeah.
we lose it. We lose it. So yeah, that's pretty well fit as far as the screen goes.
I like that the glitter all looks like bubbles.
Yeah, I like that little red item on the left side, upper left side.
This here.
Yeah.
I don't know, this one just caught my eye. I thought it was kind of,
Unusual.
yeah, it's different. It kind of, you immediately think of Christmas, you immediately think of the ornaments and stuff like that. But I just I like it's not in focus, but it's not horribly out of focus. I mean,
Yeah.
I realize that Beth shot it with a special lens that does that,
Yeah, it's a lens baby shot.
like the other 9,000 photographs she's taken this week.
Yeah.
But no, I love it. And it just caught my eye because it's
Yeah.
not the typical Christmas decoration picture that you see.
Yeah, we make a nice
Yeah,
Christmas
still-
card, put some text on the upper left corner,
Yeah.
in Hallmark.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. It gives you exactly what it is, but it's not well defined, which is I think really what drawed my eye to it.
And it's not typical.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And as we know, Beth is not typical. Anybody else want to say anything? We'll close her up here.
Didn't vote on it. Should have voted.
I have issues with voting, guys. You know that.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, but you got to.
But you should.
But it's good that I like the idea who voted for it and why. So we can see through their eyes, like what we did on the leaf.
Well, we don't talk about why,
Yes,
Yeah.
and we need to start talking about why they voted on it.
but I think everybody
Yeah.
needs to vote.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody in the club should vote.
Uh-huh. Either that or their dues go
I
up.
Okay,
Works
guys.
for me.
All right. Let's do
I
stuff.
like the basketball.
We'll look at some more of them. I want to get back to going through those more often, guys. And I know I don't have to tell Margie that, but
Oh, you don't.
we need to look, we need to keep looking at each other's photographs and
Yeah.
seeing what's going on.
That's the
We
only
gotta-
way
even if it's just 1 or 2 each night that we meet like that, that's better than not looking at any at all.
Yes.
Maybe we can do a little bit more of that, and a little less YouTube videos.
Yeah. I
So, YouTube videos are great, and every once in a while you have to show one of them, but, I would rather see links to the YouTube videos, being mailed around or posted on Reddit and say, hey, go watch this video, and we'll do it on our own time, and let's do more talking of the actual stuff that we got going on. So anyhow, that's just me ranting and raving.
Well, just back to the SWG meeting where we're supposed to do the critiquing, you know, we haven't done that well, we've had Christmas, Thanksgiving and all that stuff. So, but yeah, we need to just get back to at least once a month with the WPS critiquing on their photos.
All right, guys. Hey, so one last thing. I am going to send a link as soon as we're done here to that survey. If you haven't taken a chance to fill that survey out, please do that, because we have a meeting on Sunday, I believe it is.
Sunday at 2.
Sunday. To sit down and figure out our year, and I've only got a couple responses to that survey. So I'm going to resend that link. If any of you guys haven't filled that out, please do give us an opportunity to do what we need to do and make sure we're addressing what you guys want us to address. So
It's like a church pledge card. Nobody wants to turn it in.
yeah. And I literally, it's what, 6 questions or 7 questions, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's quick and simple, and so I'm gonna throw that back out there and say, please fill it out by Saturday so that we have it for Sunday.
It's anonymous, so you won't have your name.
Yes, you don't have to put your name on it. You don't, and I can't track it. I set it up to where it won't track, so I don't know who filled it out, other than sometimes I can tell who filled it out by what they're telling me they want to see, but that's okay. But yeah, if so, I'm going to send that out. If you haven't filled that out, please do. Like I said, I think I only got 5 or 6 responses to that, and it makes it tougher for those of us sitting down, or you all got to do what we want to do then, so but anyhow, in the Linda, you put something in there.
That's just, if you take a look at that, it's a suggestion for an outing. I've been down there twice, and it's
Okay,
a
well,
church, and this guy
Okay.
has painted murals. It's very interesting. You cannot use a flash there, but that's not a problem because you can use a tripod. A docent would give a program, and then there would be time to take photos. So if you just take a look at that and talk about it, see if you want to go or not.
Okay, but what you put in there is an email link.
If you just go to vancomurals.org,
Okay, all
you'll
right,
get there.
all right, that'll work.
Yep. It would be
Okay.
something in the summer too, because, or the spring, since you don't know what the weather's going to be like.
Okay, I'll take a peek at that then and put that on the list. All
Hey,
right.
Ryan,
Yeah.
I haven't forgot, I will send out like a meeting agenda, if you will, with the fill-in table prior to Sunday.
Okay. All right, that'll be cool. All right, guys, if there's nothing else, it's 9:04. Let's call it an evening. And I will see some of you on Sunday, right?
Yes.
And then we'll see a bunch of you on Monday, because Monday's our meeting.
Yes.
Yep.
Quadruple jalapenos this time. Keep the people away from our jalapenos.
I had I'll tell you a real quick story about jalapenos. I was at a race the other day, and the place next door makes sandwiches and stuff like that. I went in there, I said, I want a hot Italian hoagie. And I said, could you add some jalapenos to it for me? And they said, absolutely, no problem at all. So I go back to get my sandwich. I go and I sit down at my table and I open it up, and I will guarantee you that I had at least 70 jalapenos per bite. they put jalapenos on my sandwich. I had a jalapeno sandwich with bread. It was excellent and I loved it.
I was gonna say it had to be good.
Oh, it was really good, but I am telling you, they definitely put the jalapenos on the sandwich. So anyhow, I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
It was really good, and everyone's like, "Are you eating that?" I said, "Absolutely, I'm eating that." So
Yeah, I eat jalapenos or hot peppers with every meal.
it was, you know how sometimes you get a sandwich and you bite into one side and the ketchup squirts out the other side.
Yeah.
You squirted out the other side of this one. So, but it was good. It was really good. So anyhow, all right, guys, let's call it an evening. Thank y'all for coming. I'm sorry we didn't do this last week. I just was on. I did talk to Margie. She heard me speaking. She told me to go home or go back to bed.
Yeah, he
I was not
bad.
in any kind of shape to try to have a meeting last week. So
No.
I apologize, but glad y'all joined us tonight, and we will see you guys in the very near future.
Okay, y'all have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thanks,
Night,
Margie.
everybody.
Night.
Good night, all.